Hey guys, welcome to Rosie's Dessert Spot. This particular video is a fairy style cake designed by Rohan. Thank you, Rohan, for sending through your awesome cake sketch. I really hope it does it justice. I've got an 8-inch cake that I've already crumb coated and stacked. Here I'm applying just a final layer of frosting in buttercream with a little bit of blue gel food color to turn it this nice pastel shade of blue. You want to heap on the buttercream and then smooth it all out with a frosting scraper. Once it's nice and smooth, bring the lip of frosting towards the center of the cake. And then you'll want to refrigerate this for about 20 minutes if you can, just until it goes nice and stiff and has set. Do the exact same thing again for your 6-inch cake and a 4-inch cake as well. The 6-inch and the 4-inch will have cake boards underneath this, the same size as the cake. Once these have been done, you want to pop them into your freezer instead to set completely. Only for about 20 minutes or so. The fondant decorations you can prepare the night beforehand. This is brown fondant, rolling it out to about 3 millimeters in thickness, and then I'm using this really cool wood grain sort of embossing panel. You kind of want to press it firmly into the fondant just to make sure that the pattern has transferred. And then when you're done, you can cut it down to size. To help keep a nice straight cut, you could use the sharp side of your fondant smoother. I've also taken a roller just to make sure that they're equally just kind of the same height. Mark along 1.5 centimeters and then cut down the panels. I've taken a petal cutter, you could also take a love heart cutter, and just cut down one side to create the sort of pointed end that typically a picket fence would have. And then take your butterfly cutter, cut out a nice shade of pink. Cut out as many as you like here. You might go for a few different sizes as well to keep it fresh. And then let them dry folded against some paper or baking paper. And they can stay here overnight until they're completely hard. For the little bees, I've taken some little round balls of fondant, rolled them out slightly, made the either end of them a little bit pointy, and made sure that the base of them are completely flat so it sits flat on the cake. Take some super light grey fondant, fold it over, and then cut just the top side of a love heart so that when you fold it out it looks like wings. Let these dry completely before applying them onto your bees. Again, I've used the same method as the butterflies and I've just stuck it into some baking paper that's been folded. Score a line for the head of your bees. Cut out some blossoms if you like. Let those dry completely. And in the meantime, we can make your mushrooms. Take a log of fondant, flatten out the very base, and make the top side a little bit skinny. I like to rub it against my countertop so that I have a nice flat base at the top and the bottom. And then follow the same steps for the mushroom head. You can stick these together with a little bit of water. I've taken an edible black marker by Americolor and just drawn on the stripes on my bees. It's a lot easier and faster this way compared to using fondant. Take a little bit of water and stick your little bee wings onto your bees. You can impress a little line into the top of the bees if you like a little groove to sort of fit those wings into. For a little extra touch, I added a blossom onto 2 of the mushrooms. If you have a topper or a cake badge, you could use that for the center of the cake. I've just cut out a number 2 in fondant. You can spot little details onto your mushroom as well with some edible paint. I've just got here some gel food color. Now that all of our fondant decorations are prepared, we can stack our cakes. These are paper straws that I've used cut flush at the top of the cake, and they're there to support the weight of our cakes. I'm going to release our 6-inch and our 4-inch from their temporary cake boards and then stick them onto the cake with some frosting. Follow the same steps again with your 6-inch, again making sure that you have some straws in there to support the weight of your 4-inch. Now that our cakes have been stacked, we can start adding on our decorations. The two, I just applied a little bit of water at the back so that it stuck to my fondant. And then our dry decorations, I'm applying on with a little bit of buttercream piped behind it. Our picket fence is up on the cake. I just have to make that little panel that goes all around, and I want to make that fresh so that it's nice and flexible. Roll out a panel of brown fondant, cut it to an even rectangular size, and then use that embossing mat again to create a nice wood grain up the length of this panel. It's a lot easier to apply onto your cake if you roll it and then unravel it directly onto the picket fence. I just brushed on a bit of water to make sure that it would stick. Start at the back. Very important to always start this at the back because that's where it's going to meet up and it might look a little bit odd. Gently unravel it, let it bud up, and then cut off the excess. At the base of each cake, I've used a grass tip and some green buttercream, and I'm just creating a nice thick bushy row of grass. If you guys are enjoying these tutorials, feel free to subscribe. We do upload a new video every week. I'm also running classes if you guys are interested, and I'll leave that link in the description box below as well. Work your way up to the top, and then I've just left one side at the very top with buttercream to help add my little mushrooms and butterflies. Apply them on there randomly, doesn't have to be too precise. And then stick on your bees with a little bit of that frosting at the back to help them stick. For the very last step, I'm going to take some green fondant and create little vines zigzagging around my little fondant ornaments. You could do this first and then apply the dried fondant bits, totally up to you. Once it's been drawn on, add on your little blossoms. These have been dried so I can handle them easily, and they're keeping their shape as I press them in. You'll also want a little leaf tip as well and a different color of green fondant. And just apply teeny tiny little leaves behind your blossoms. And your cake is complete. Thank you so much to Rohan for submitting this awesome cake sketch. I really hope you like it. I had a lot of fun making it. Gonna admit, it does take a fair amount of time with all the fun and decorations, but it's well and truly worth it. If you guys would like to have a crack at designing a cake for our tutorials, I'm opening up the challenge again. So to submit your cake sketch, all you need to do is create a 2 to 3 tier cake drawn in color if you can, and then send it to rosiesdessertspot@gmail.com. I'll make a short list of all the submissions, and then you guys will vote in the top 5 to be recreated into tutorials. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you again in the next one.